Hey, what's up guys? John here. State Senator in Nebraska issued a dire warning to every single American about the real reason Bill Gates may be buying up so much farmland.
Bill Gates owns more land than all of the entire city of New York.
Bill Gates became the largest individual owner of farmland in America.
Gates alone holds over 275,000 acres across 19 states.
He recently purchased $113 million worth of Nebraska farmland, now controlling a whopping 20,000 acres of farmland across 19 counties in Nebraska. After selling some land in recent years, he owns the largest chunk of land, about 8,500 acres in Holt County. So 20,000 acres inside of this one state. And you have to ask yourself why. Well, I'm going to break this down. I'm going to show you exactly why, according to this senator, he may do this. And if he does do what this senator is saying, he's going to rug pull literally every farmer in the state of Nebraska. He's going to put so much pressure on all these other farmers to where they're forced to sell off their land. And this isn't just going to be in Nebraska. This could be happening all across the country. I'm going to break it down for you. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube will share the content, educate more people about what's going on in the U.S. economy. And if you'd like to fix your credit to position yourself for what I believe is going to be the greatest wealth transfer. It started in 2020. It's ramping up now. The next couple years will be unreal. We're going to see so much pressure put on this economy and millions of Americans forced to sell off assets. So if you'd like to invest in distressed assets, you're going to need great credit. So if you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any issue on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video and schedule a free strategy session for Monday. Take a look at this. So according to this state senator, he says if this land was given to a nonprofit, potentially making it exempt from property taxes, it would decimate the counties involved. State Senator Tom Brewer, a Republican whose district covers 11 rural counties in central and northern Nebraska, said in an email. Now, what do large, successful capitalists do? They look for weaknesses and exploit those weaknesses in their competitors to gain market share. Now, when you have a situation like what's going on with farmers right now, whether it be here in America, whether it be in different countries, you're seeing and hearing about this everywhere. A lot of farmers are really struggling. They're really just trying to hold on. It's getting out of control. Like, for example, a month ago, massive fruit grower bankrupt in Fresno, 5,400 jobs lost. Who gets 16,000 acres of prime farmland? I mean, farmers in crisis, long overlooked, are finally getting mental health support. Climate in New York, effects on farmers and the economy, right? It's 10 pages in the last month. All about farmers going out of business, all about the stress farmers are going through. Now, when you look at what's going on now in Nebraska, property taxes have increased 20% since 2017. So the last 7 years, they've gone up 20%. Fertilizer costs have gone up. Labor costs have gone up. Everything has gone up. And so when you connect the dots as to what's happening now, Bill Gates buying up land threatens small farms under guise of saving, right? So they're talking about him threatening small farms. If he gave that farmland, the 270,000 acres, to a nonprofit in which he controlled, then the tax base would skyrocket, absolutely skyrocket. And so if you have a situation where taxes are skyrocketing and farmers are barely making it, what would they be forced to do? Most likely sell, right? And who would be best positioned to acquire this? Probably Bill, right? So Bill would be able to grow and grow and grow. But at the same time, something very interesting is happening. He's heavily invested in plant-based foods, heavily invested in plant-based foods. And so when you look at his involvement in a lot of these plant-based food companies, what you can see here is very interesting. The fake meat market, right? As he warned that cows are a significant contributor to this, right? When he's heavily invested in these plant-based foods, which they also state is 1/3 cheaper, right? So it's absolutely just sheer genius. Think about this. If he's heavily invested in a lot of these plant-based food companies, all of which he basically got in from the bottom when they were, basically had no market share. They had no real market cap. He acquired large blocks of these plant-based foods. We walk into an affordability crisis where people, for example, the CEO of Kellogg came out a couple days ago telling people, hey, have cereal for dinner. Feed your kids cereal for dinner. Wall Street Journal came out saying, skip breakfast. That's one way you can save money. And then Bill says, you know what? Hey, I have an alternative for you. This alternative is 33% cheaper than, traditional food you get at the grocery store, plant-based food. And he corners the market. Meanwhile, he's able to acquire tons and tons and tons of more farmland in an environment where the US dollar is falling and the only thing that really holds true value is large swaths of farmland. It is absolutely genius. It is absolutely genius. And so, Microsoft co-founder turned philanthropist, right? Philanthropist donating to charity, says hopeful that fake meat products will eventually be a very good option for consumers. Even though the share of products in the meat market is small, I think eventually these products will be very good, even though their share is small today, Gates said in a Reddit forum questioning related to tackling climate. Gates said innovations like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods, which are plant-based food options that range from burgers to chicken nugget alternatives, and the food technology company Upside Foods, which takes animal cells and then grows meat into a laboratory environment, are crucial steps for reducing animal consumption. Climate activists pointed to the traditional approaches to avoiding meat like vegetarianism or going vegan, he said. That is great, but noted that most people will not choose to remove meat from their diet. I don't think most people will do that, he said, noting the alternative meat products were a necessary option and therefore lower meat consumption. So look at this. You have that happening. Then there's this massive pipeline that's being built out right now. 1,900 acres. 1,900 acres. And so when you look at where this is, if you look at the map of the most fertile soil in America, right, this line right here is Canada. So if you look down here, this is the most fertile farmland. And if you look where the map is, it's right here, the most fertile farmland. And so this pipeline it's very interesting because one of the major contributors to this pipeline is John Deere. And Bill owns a large block of John Deere. Some say, I mean, for example, right here, it says that he owns a whopping 5% stake. 5%. Like that's huge, right? His entire portfolio, Bill Gates acquired 3.56 million Deere shares worth $1.3 billion. That's 2.81% of their equity portfolio. It's the sixth largest position. The investor owns 1.3% of the outstanding Deere stock. So I'm not sure if this is 2021, so maybe he bought some more, or this is, let's see, 2024, so maybe he sold some. The first Deere trade was Q3 2021. So since then, Bill has bought shares one more time and sold shares on two occasions. The stake cost the investor $1.23 billion, netting the investor gain about 5.1% so far. So this pipeline right here, some of the most continuous, emotionally charged debates during 2024 South Dakota legislative session have been about property rights and whether a private company can use eminent domain to force the carbon dioxide pipeline onto land against the owner. The heated discussion are driven by a proposal of Summit Carbon Solutions to run 470 miles of about 1,900 miles underground pipeline across eastern South Dakota. The pipe would carry liquefied carbon dioxide gas from regional ethanol plants to North Dakota, where it would be stored deep underground and kept in the atmosphere. In all, lawmakers are weighing 10 bills related to the pipeline and eminent domain, which requires landowners to be paid for the use of the land and gives them little legal recourse to stop it, right? So this is coming all across the most fertile land. And so you think about this, all of which is just so perfect for Bill. Like, especially when you look at, he's heavily invested in this, right? In different aspects, different companies that are doing the same exact thing. There's November 13th, 2023, November 13th, another one right here in 2022. So you have all these different, articles talking about, how he is heavily invested in this. So you think about how this would work out so well for Bill. He would become a trillionaire. Like, he would become a trillionaire without doubt, especially because he's doing something, which is interesting. He's doing the buy, borrow, die method, where he buys a farmland in cash, then he refinances it, pulls a lot of his cash out, which you have to ask yourself, why would he do that? Why would he do that? Well, he's going to do that because it's a non-taxable event, right? If he buys it and then he pulls his cash out, loans are not taxed. So he would be able to go out there and, he's already making a ton of money right now with everything else that he's involved in. He would be able to go out there and I think 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20x his portfolio over the next couple of years if all he had to do was just this one simple thing, which is just sign a piece of paper over saying that, we should give this to a nonprofit. We need to be more about the people. We need to combat inequity and inequality. And what we need to do is put this, farmland, for the people. This needs to be sitting inside of a nonprofit, right? And then boom, next step happens. And then before you know it, people are eating plant-based food. Now, what do I think is going to happen in terms of food? I believe that we're going to start to see a very, very interesting trend happen here with food. And if you look at Big Mac meals, some of these Big Mac meals, you're hearing about $18 for a Big Mac meal. You're hearing, I mean, like $10, $12 for, something that used to cost $6, a couple years ago. Everything has gotten so expensive with food. I believe we're going to see the 1%, the people that are doing well financially right now, they're going to still go out there, eat, organic filet, they're going to eat organic chicken, they're going to eat really, really healthy foods. And then everybody else is going to be eating, food that maybe they prefer not to eat, but, they're conditioned to believe that it's very good. Maybe it is. I'm not sure. I've never tried it. But to be honest, I don't really have an intention of trying it. I would prefer to eat steak. Right? I would prefer to eat, what I want to eat. So when you look at what's happening, you can see one thing very, very clearly, that a lot of people are going to be, eating this plant-based food. And a lot of people are going to be eating it. If you like to eat it, maybe it's really good. Maybe you would like it. But if you don't want to eat it, maybe you would prefer to eat, what you presently eat. You have to realize that what's going to happen is that if there's going to be a compression of farmland, a compression of farmers, and there's going to be, fewer meat products available to purchase, and there's going to be a consolidation of wealth like what we've experienced the last couple of years, there's going to be more cash chasing a smaller pool of quality foods. Meaning the price of those foods are likely going to be going up in a pretty big direction. Probably not 10, 12%, maybe 3, 4, 500% over the next 5 years, realistically. It might sound far-fetched, but look at how much everything has increased the last 3 years. Some would argue 50%, 100%, right? So if you look at the direction where we're going, that could be right on the money. So the easy way to look at this is if you're making, let's say, $100,000 a year, $8,000 a month, right? $96,000 a year. You look at this and you realize that 5 years ago, that was a really, really good living, right? A lot of people went to school for 4 years, 8 years to make $100,000 a year. Like, that's great. But unfortunately, the way the world's going right now, that's probably not going to be able to get you, that really, really good meal and a really good life in the next couple of years. So the easy way to look at this is see the direction of the world that we're heading in and position yourself in the right business, the right job. Put yourself in a really, really strong position. If you have a business, you want to invest and grow that business as quickly as possible to offset the rising costs we're going to be likely living through. If you don't, and you just have a job that is stable, you're extremely fortunate. And you just want to really supply a lot of value to that employer because you're indirectly paid for the value that you supply to your employer. So if you're supplying 5 or 6 times your salary, you're going to have no problem continuing to get raises. That employer's not going to let you go. But if you're barely supplying enough value to cover your costs, you're probably going to get let go. Right? So we're going to see this big change happen. Those that are prepared and positioned for this massive wealth transfer will do extremely well. And those that are ignoring the facts of what's actually going on in the economy, what's actually going on in the world, are going to wake up in what some would call a nightmare in the next couple of years. What do you think about this entire situation? It's crazy. Like, it's absolutely crazy that this is even allowed, that this could actually happen, according to this senator. I mean, it's absolutely wild. But I would not put it past it. I would believe that it's more likely this is probably going to happen. Let's have a conversation about this. And if you like to fix your credit, to position yourself, maybe you have big goals and ambitions you want to achieve the next couple of years to offset a lot of the chaos we're walking into, we'd love to help fix your credit. At my company, GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. If you have late payments, medical bills, charge-offs, foreclosures, bankruptcies, repossessions, or any negative item on your credit report, go to GreatCreditFast.com. Click the link in the description just below this video and schedule a free strategy session for Monday. Catch you next video.